light heavyweight title eliminator. I'm glad they kept the stakes on this one. 3 rounds. Former champ Jan Blachowicz minus 125. Alex Pereira minus 105. Ken Flo, I don't have to tell you that Pereira is the former middleweight champion, moving up here to 205, and he draws the number 3 ranked contender and former champion Jan Blachowicz, who wins the co-main event. And how do they get it done?
Great pronunciation. I've been anglicizing the Pereira, but I think Blachowicz, if he's smart, if he's capable, if he's able, he needs to take this fight to the ground. I think he can get some things done on the feet as well. I think it will take him a little while, or it could potentially take both fighters a little while to break each other down. They're both very, very durable. But I think Pereira is going to do very well at 205 pounds. This fight is very tough, but I think this is the right weight class for him. I think he's going to be more willing to throw more volume, I think. Not that he's a high volume striker necessarily, but I think he's going to have more energy and more strength to be able to do that at 205 pounds. I don't think we ever saw Pereira at 100% at 185 pounds. I just think he was that damn good that he was still beating guys left and right at 185 pounds. Now he'll lose a little bit of that size advantage at 205 pounds, right? But as far as letting his skills shine, I think we're going to see just that. So Blachowicz should take this to the ground. Is he going to be successful? He might. But I think Pereira is going to surprise some people in his ability to survive there and get back to his feet. I think what scares me a little bit in this one is Blachowicz taking it back. That's where Pereira, I think, is going to be most vulnerable here, because he does do that at times. He will give his back and show his back. And we saw Izzy, who's not the best ground guy in the world, take advantage of that. So that's where I'm most nervous. But I think there's some good value, or good enough value here in Pereira, where he catches Blachowicz and finishes the job by KO or TKO. So Kenny, I'm just gonna keep this. Kenny being biased here with the Brazilian fighters. That's where I'm gonna hear in the comments. So Pereira
back to back for Team Florian, and Alex Pereira right now slightly to the underdog at minus 105. Kenny, how old do you think Jan Blachowicz is?
I don't know. I guess he's probably younger than I think. Or is that incorrect? Is he like mid 30, 35?
You say 35. Cody says 38. He's a man. He's 40. He'll be 41.
Damn. Okay, I was way up. I was thinking you were going to surprise me because he looks older, but he's actually younger. Okay.
Yeah, 41 in February. Pereira 36. Ryan Petrie, much younger than both of these individuals. Who do you have? Actually, you're older than Pereira. No. Yeah, Petrie is.
I'll be 37 on August 4th. Yeah.
There you go. Brian, talk to me. Jan Blachowicz, Alex Pereira. On which side do you fall, and how convicted are you?
Love this fight. A lot of people, Kenny said it best. Kenny broke that down beautifully. I can't really top what he said, obviously. But Blachowicz in Izzy fight, which I've watched several times, a lot of people are comparing that because they're like, oh, Pereira's coming up to 85. Look what happened to Izzy. No. Let's not make something clear here. Pereira is fucking huge. Izzy is a big guy himself, but he's thin, right? So Pereira is a big dude, and he's training with Glover Teixeira and a bunch of killers in Connecticut. They've been in Salt Lake for like 2 weeks now. Grappling obviously is the biggest concern. Like Kenny said, I'm not worried about the takedowns. I'm worried about their transitions to the feet. If Blachowicz can take the back or some kind of choke, but because he is a black belt and he does have some rear naked choke victories on his record. He's also a big, strong guy, but he's 40. He's a man. He's 40. And Pereira, God, this guy's impressive, man. I'm an Izzy guy, and I went back and looked at all the footage of Pereira kickboxing, and he is nasty. That left hook is beautiful. Just all he needs to do, listen to me, like all he needs to do, I didn't mean to say that, but what he needs to do is do not put himself on the cage, because that's where Blachowicz can smother him, take him down, get him on the ground. Like Blachowicz has a good double in the middle of the cage, but circle off, use your footwork, kind of like we did with Strickland, because we thought Strickland was going to wrestle, and just keep peppering him and land your shots. Blachowicz has got a great chin. He's been knocked out before, but he does have a great chin. I like Pereira big here. I almost went all 5. I almost dumped 5 units on him. Already did the 3. Going to a Pereira minus 105. That's a juicy number. Need to get the stock up. Need to get the money up. I like this fight, Pereira. I think he's going to be fighting for the title next at 205.
Nicely done, boys. Alex Pineda right now minus 105. We'll see where it closes before UFC 291. All right, that brings us to the main event, and we'll go right back to Brian Petrie on this lightweight eliminator for the BMF title. Dustin Poirier minus 135, Justin Gaethje plus 115. Historically, Bri, first fight back in 2018, main event on Fox, went to Poirier by round 4 TKO. Was actually just the third UFC fight for Justin Gaethje. Both men 6-2 since. Numbers and names eerily similar. Now for a second time with raised stakes, it shall be done. Poirier, Gaethje, who do you like?
So believe it or not, for the commenters and everyone on Instagram, I don't have a crystal ball. I am wrong quite often, right? Molly McCann, perfect example. I am wrong. I'm a human being, people, but I've never been more wrong on my own podcast years ago when these first fought. I was all in on Justin Gaethje. I said, Justin Gaethje's going to do this. He's going to do that because I hadn't seen the dog yet of Poirier. We saw him fight Chan Sung Jung and he lost in that war, lost to Conor. He had some good wins, but we hadn't seen the dog yet. That was the Poirier, the Gaethje fight was when we saw Poirier become Poirier, in my opinion. This is why he's fighting the BMF, because he got his leg kicked the fuck off. We saw the bruising. He was like, I couldn't take another kick. Found that left hand, found what he did, and won the fight. And now you see him in fights where he gets rocked or he gets wobbled, and he's okay because he's been through it. He's got that dog in him. I think this is the toughest fight for Gaethje in the division. I think Poirier's boxing's too clean, too crisp. I've watched all of Gaethje's fights since their fight, and he's a little calm, right? You know, the new Gaethje with the Tony fight, he wasn't as wild, but he's still throwing some loopy shots. Throws that right hand pretty loopy. His head movement's getting a little better, but Poirier is just so pinpoint. Southpaw. The inside leg kick's going to be there for Justin, but I feel like Poirier is just going to counter with a straight left every time, make him pay for it. I like that the number's low on Poirier as well. This is going to be a must bet for me. I like Dustin Poirier to get the BMF title this weekend, boys.
All right, well done, Brian Petrie. Gaethje really, I think, showed you, Kenny, that he is still at that elite level and just where he's at mentally, physically, emotionally with that win over Rafael Fiziev, majority decision, UFC 286 back in March. Both of these guys, 34 years of age. Poirier's got 21 UFC wins. That includes a submission of Michael Chandler in his last appearance, UFC 281 last November. First fight was absolutely fascinating. Yeah, I mean, the number that jumped off the page for me statistically, 50 of 57 in the leg kick column for Justin Gaethje in that first fight, and yet still not enough to get it done. Poirier, otherworldly toughness. Ken Flo, fascinating main event. We're excited for Saturday night. We need to know who you have, Dustin Poirier or Justin Gaethje in Act 2.
Yeah, I don't love the BMF title, but man, this is an amazing fight. I absolutely love this fight. These are, two guys that you know exactly what they're going to do every time they step into the octagon. And for Poirier, yeah, I slightly disagree with BP on this. Does he have the sharpest boxing or sharpest striking in the world? I don't think so. I think that he leads with his toughness many times and that it gets him very far. Is he a bad striker? No, he's a very good striker. Is he the sharpest one? I don't think so. I think that, if we were to take Fiziev, for example, you just mentioned him, and we compared striking, who's more dangerous from a speed perspective, from a weapons perspective? If we were looking at them singularly, Fiziev's way more dangerous than Poirier is on the feet. In my opinion, if I'm looking at it, doesn't mean he's going to win, but he's more dangerous, and I think he's more of a threat there. So if I'm looking at who's improved the most, right? Because Gaethje had his opportunities to close that door in that fight against Poirier. Let's not get it twisted. Yes, he won, but man, did he open that. And also his conditioning was not the same. His composure was not the same. That I think if we're looking at those two guys, Poirier has made very good improvements as well, but I think Gaethje has made much bigger gains, in my opinion. And I'm also bias towards Gaethje. I love seeing the guy fight. I love seeing Poirier fight as well. And I think Poirier's best bet, if he wants to go out there and just finish the job, put Gaethje on his back. He's going to be like a fish out of water. Submit him. Poirier can go out there and do that. Could he win on the feet as well? Potentially. Why? Because Poirier has a heart that is insane. He's got a chin that is very durable. He's very durable as well. How long can that last? And we keep saying that about both of these guys. I don't know. And that's why this fight is so great. But I am going to lean towards Gaethje. Admittedly, I am very biased here towards Gaethje and his style, but I do genuinely feel he's made huge improvements since then. I think he kind of handed that fight over to Poirier in that first one. I think he can't do that here. I think Gaethje's got to be able to get in and get out and be able to do that 4 or 5 rounds. I think he can do that now. Before, if this fight were to take place a few years ago, I would say Poirier all freaking day. But today, I like Gaethje.
Wow.